Hello everyone, welcome to Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services. It's a video on daily news and editorial analysis, which I'll be covering from the Hindu and Indian Express. So the most important news and editorial of the day that is relevant for the preparation of civil services examination will be discussed in this session. Let's get started with the news topic list. Today is 2nd of December. The first important news, that is issues related to personality right. This is from the text and context page of the Hindu. Second, G20 presidency unparalleled, a crucial responsibility for India. Third, Supreme Court concern over the GM mustard. Fourth, India assumed presidency of UN Security Council for the month of December. And the last is an editorial of the day, that is safer road for greener, more sustainable environment. Apart from the news and editorial discussion, at the end of this video, there will be MCQ based questions. These questions will be based on current affairs that will help you for the upcoming prelims examination. So without any further delay, let's get started. And before I begin the session, those of you who are new to our channel, do not forget to subscribe Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services on YouTube. If you like this video, if you find this video informative and helpful, do press a like button. Starting the session with the first news, that is issues related to personality right. This particular news is important for General Studies paper 2 under the subtopic structure, organization and function of executive and judiciary. And this is also important under the same paper under the subtopic, that is the government policies and intervention for the development of various sectors and issues arising from its design and implementations. So why we are discussing this news, what is the rationale and what is the background behind this news? Recently, the Delhi High Court has passed an interim order to prevent the unlawful use of Bollywood star Amitabh Bachchan name, image and voice for any malafide purposes, for any lottery purposes, for any kind of thing which actually basically is related to distortion of his personality's impression. So the court, through its order, has restrained the person at large from infringing the personality rights of an actor. After this incident, after the Delhi High Court passed this order, it has become an issue of importance for all of you preparing for civil services examination. तो पर्सनालिटी राइट्स पे सवाल पूछे जा सकते हैं डायरेक्ट माइंड्स में कि किस तरह से ये इंपॉर्टेंट है, और मेंस पर्सपेक्टिव की अगर बात करें, एनालिसिस पार्ट में आपको पर्सनालिटी राइट और कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल राइट जो एक इंडिविजुअल को कॉन्फर की गई है बाय द फंडामेंटल राइट्स ऑफ इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, तो वो सारी बातें वो आपको लिखनी होंगी. Now the actor has filed a suit in the Delhi High Court seeking the protections of publicity right against the Kaun Banega Crorepati lottery scam. KBC scams, I think most of you must be aware of this scam. I'll show you an image that will make you evident about the fact that how these things are happening. So this is the image. I think most of you must have received this kind of SMS and WhatsApp, and just claim that you are the winner of KBC and any sort of award has been given, the lack of amount that people claim. And once you are into this basically the chain of multiple messages, another part, they will ask you for money and they will do fraud which you ever will not be able to recognize also. So the best part is to completely refrain from this kind of messages. And just to bring you thing in the light and perspective, आपने जामताड़ा जो वेब सीरीज है उसे देखी होगी. इस वेब सीरीज में पूरी इंसिडेंट बताई गई है कि किस तरह से फ्रॉड की जाती है, एंड हाउ दे स्कैम द पीपल, and their intention is to only take money through online mode or any other methodology. So this is a very good web series. If you do have a time, you can have a look at this, but do not devote your time when you are studying. Meanwhile आप इस तरह के वेब सीरीज के बारे में लिख सकते हैं. And even for the case study purposes in general studies paper 4, you will get a question on this regard, right? तो आपको एनालिसिस पार्ट में इस तरह की एग्जाम्पल्स या इसके जो सॉल्यूशंस भी बताए गए हैं वो भी काफ़ी इंपॉर्टेंट. Now about the personality rights, क्या है personality right after the issue has arisen? Personality right refers to the right of a person to protect his or her personality under the right to privacy or property, right? Already केस पुट्टास्वामी की जजमेंट में सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने कैटेगोरिकली हेल्ड किया था कि राइट टू प्राइवेसी इज समथिंग वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट एंड इट्स अ फंडामेंटल राइट्स एज वेल. Now, the right are important to celebrities as their name, photograph, and even voice can easily be misused in various advertisement by different companies to boost their sale. This is what has actually happened in the KBC lottery fraud. जो KBC की lottery fraud की जाती है उसमें इस तरह के ही इंस्ट्रूमेंट यूज किए गए. Therefore, it is necessary for the renowned personalities and celebrities to register their name to save with their personality rights. Now, personality rights और publicity rights दोनों में क्या difference है? Now, a new basically part of debate will also be there in this context also. So, personality rights are differed from the publicity right. Personality right की अगर बात करें, it consists of two important rights. The first is the right to publicity, that the right to keep one image and likeness from being commercially exploited without permission or contractual compensation. What is similar to the use of a trademark. जिस तरह से आप किसी कंपनी की ट्रेडमार्क नहीं यूज कर सकते हैं, उसी तरह से किसी के बिना परमिशन के आप उसकी वॉइस या इमेजेस को यूज नहीं कर सकते. Secondly, there is a right to privacy or the right not to have one's personality represented publicly without the permission of an individual. Now, personality rights की क्या laws हैं इंडिया में, उस context में क्या क्या चीज़ें अभी तक evolve हुई हैं. The closest statute to the protection of personality right is envisaged in the Article 21 of the Indian Constitution. अगर Article 21 की बात करें, जहाँ पे right to privacy और publicity की बात की गई, and even you can highlight and supplement your answer by highlighting the K.S. Puttaswamy judgment. Now, under the intellectual property law, there are other statutory provisions that govern the safeguard of the individual personality और personality right की बात यहाँ पे भी आप इसके अंदर ले सकते हैं. For example, the Copyright Act of 1957, the moral rights are exclusively granted to the authors and performer, which include actor, singer, musician, dancer, and other personality which have their unique identity and name. About the consumer rights, कुछ consumers के भी rights हैं apart from the personality and personal rights. So with celebrities are protected, जैसे celebrities protected हैं from the commercial misuse of their name and personality. There have also been instances where the consumer are misled owing a false advertisement to endorse by such personality. तो इसको लेकर के भी गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया ने कुछ स्ट्रिक्ट रूल्स लाए थे, खास करके जो यूट्यूब या सोशल मीडियाज पे जो इन्फ्लुएंसर हैं, अगर वो किसी तरह से कोई फॉल्स एडवर्टीजमेंट को प्रमोट करते हैं, दे विल बी ऑल्सो इम्प्लीकेटेड, और उनको ये बताना होगा उनके प्रमोशंस में दैट दे आर बीइंग पेड फॉर दिस काइंड ऑफ एडवर्टीजमेंट, राइट. So, due to such cases, the Ministry of Consumer Affairs has made a notification in 2022 to keep a check on misleading adverts and endorsement of a consumer product by imposing a penalty on the endorser. अगर वो genuine है, then they will be appreciated, and if it is only intended to make money and it is like जो customers को गुमराह करने की बात होगी, वहाँ पे penal provisions भी रखे गए हैं. Now, personality rights in foreign countries, ये तो इंडिया में अभी बात basically they have taken a voice now, but क्या foreign countries में इस तरह की कोई laws हैं? So, दो example है. First is of the United States. In United States of America and United Kingdom, there's no specific statute which has created the purpose for dealing with the personality right alone. However, US provide for the protection with the false endorsement, association, and affiliations. Now, talking about Germany, in Germany, the protections to image and personality right in both torts and other statute are there in the trademark laws. वहाँ के जो trademark laws है, वहाँ पे इसकी बातें की गई हैं. Even the copyright in the Work Art and Photograph Act and the German Civil Code and Unfair Competition Law. Given in the Canada, both laws are torts of the statutory law cover the subject matters. तो ये कुछ global practices हैं जो की जा रही हैं, and even if India make a law in this context, in this regard, these things need to be taken into consideration. Now moving to the other news, that is G20 presidency, an unparalleled, a crucial responsibility for India. This is what External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar has said. Something important for General Studies Paper 2, that is the bilateral, regional, and global grouping and agreement involving India and affecting India's interest. Recently, India took over the presidency of G20 a year ahead of the summit, and the grouping is to be held in the national capital दिसंबर 2022 से लेकर के नवंबर 2023 तक इंडिया के पास ये प्रेसिडेंसी रहेगी, राइट? दिस इज बाय 2023. Now, talking about the occasion that was marked by the range of public events, announcement and illuminations of 100 monument, जो landmark monuments हैं उनकी lightning की गई to mark the basically that India has overtaken the membership or the presidency. The External Affairs Minister has said that the occasion is bestowed India with great responsibility because great power comes with great responsibility, and India is of the notion that definitely there is a lot of things that has to be done during this presidency. He described the assumptions of the G20 presidency as an unparalleled event because there are many other problems that is also emerging. अगर बात करें रशिया और यूक्रेन की वॉर की, that is a one challenge. Post COVID is again the other problem, and considering the fact the inflations in India specifically, बहुत सारे ऐसे ग्लोबल और रीजनल चैलेंजेस है जो इंडिया को एड्रेस करनी होगी. The Prime Minister described India agenda at G20 to be inclusive, ambitious and action oriented. Now, broader connections की बात की है इंडिया ने. The External Affairs Ministers said that the G20 brought together leaders of the economies and the world, which include 2/3 of the world population. Right? I have already told you that G20 की क्या contribution है populations में, percentage में, GDP के. So these data would again be relevant. If you have not watched that video, do check it out. Now, India has invited Bangladesh, Mauritius, Egypt, Singapore, Nigeria, Netherlands, Oman, Spain, and UAE to be the participant of the G20 summit. There will be nearly 200 events to mark India's presidency. Now, G20 summit that will be held in 2023. The next G20 summit is there in September 2023 in India and New Delhi. But in addition, there will be almost 200 meetings that will take place at various levels. ऑफिशियल एक्सपर्ट्स, सिविल सोसाइटी, कोर्स और यूथ, ये सारे लोगों को जोड़ी जाएगी ताकि एक होलिस्टिक अप्रोच बनाया जाए, एक अवेयरनेस की जाए खास करके लोगों में. एंड इवन द people that are associated with it, the voluntary people can be the part of the national developing process. The countrywide spread of the event would help citizens to understand the result of the G20, and India would be more world ready and world more ready India. So this is a concept which India would be evolving with. And the main event and the preparatory conference of the G20 summit will also include the side events, civil society related events and discussions. Now, moving to the other news, Supreme Court concern over the GM mustard, something important for General Studies Paper 3, that is conservation, environmental pollutions and degradation, and environmental impact assessment. The Supreme Court recently asked the Union government if there was a compelling reason. This is what the word Supreme Court has noted, that is there any compelling reasons for it to press ahead with the release of GM mustard. खास करके GM mustard DMH11 की बात की जा रही है, धारा mustard hybrid 11, and they have asked if agriculture, Indian agriculture would be doomed if genetically modified crop were made available. तो सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने कंसर्न रेज की है कि क्या इतनी ज़रूरतें हैं कि ये GM जैसे मस्टर्ड्स को वो लाया जाए इंडियन एग्रीकल्चर में, और उसके लाने के बाद पोस्ट रिपरकशंस क्या होंगे, क्या इंडियन एग्रीकल्चर इसी पे निर्भर हो जाएगी, इसके बारे में बातें सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने हाईलाइट की. The Supreme Court judge has said that the Supreme Court Technical Expert Committee, जो कि TEC के नाम से जाने जाती है, सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने इसकी फॉर्मुलेशन की थी ताकि वो GM क्रॉप्स के बारे में अपने रिमार्क्स दे सके, and they were not meant for Indian agriculture. This is what the expert committee has said in its report. Now, एक पिटिशन फाइल की गई है जिसको सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने हियर किया, और उसी पिटिशन के कंटेक्स्ट में सारी बातें हो रही है. The Supreme Court questions come a day after the petition argued that the regulatory system under the GEAC, that is a Genetic Engineering Appraisal Committee, which cleared the environmental clearances for DHM11, जो कि एक genetically engineered variant है mustard की, उसको पास किया गया है, उसको अप्रूव किया गया है, whether this is right in the spirit of Indian agriculture, and considering the fact that इस तरह की चीज़ें क्या और भी किसी तरह के कंसर्न को हाईलाइट करेंगी. The advocate for the petitioner has questioned the need for the use of GM mustard. क्या ज़रूरत है GM mustard की जहाँ पे ऑलरेडी इंडिया के पास 5,477 वेराइटीज़ ऑफ मस्टर्ड ऑलरेडी अवेलेबल है. तो क्या कुछ बहुत ही ज़्यादा अलग है या फिर इसके कुछ रिपरकशंस भी होंगे, इसे देखना और समझने की जरूरत है। ऑल्दो सुप्रीम कोर्ट हैज ऑल्सो टेकन अ कॉग्निजेंस कि अगर जेनेटिक इंजीनियरिंग अप्रेजल कमेटी ने इसे अप्रूव किया है तो उन्हें बहुत बारीकी से चीज़ों को समझा होगा, एंड दे हैव ऑल्सो टेकन ऑल पॉइंट इनटू कंसिडरेशन बिफोर दे कम इनटू द एक्चुअल अप्रूवल एंड कमर्शियलाइजेशन, यूटिलाइजेशन एंड यूजेस ऑफ दिस GM mustard. Now, recent developments में Genetic Engineering Appraisal Committee earlier has cleared up proposals for the commercial cultivation of GM mustard, and it was approved by the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. गवर्नमेंट की क्या स्टैंड है इसको लेकर के? अटॉर्नी जनरल के थ्रू गवर्नमेंट ने अपनी स्टैंड क्लियर किया। दे हैव डिसमिस्ड द नीड टू रीलुक एट द कंपेलिंग रीजंस टू ऑगमेंट the based ideology, and he said that the government has taken a policy decision. A regulatory policy has been put in place. The review of GM crop has been undertaken minutely over the length period of time. तो गवर्नमेंट का कहना था कि जो जेनेटिक इंजीनियरिंग अप्रेजल कमिटी है, जेनेटिक इंजीनियरिंग अप्रेजल कमिटी, दे हैव टेकन a due diligence in approving this GM mustard, and this is a policy decision that will help to augment the increasing numbers of the mustard production in our country. This is what the government stand was in the Supreme Court. There was no shortcut taken to nudge the environmental clearance. This is what the Attorney General of India has categorically said in an affidavit in a reply to the Supreme Court. India assumed presidency of UN Security Council, something important for General Studies Paper 2, under the subtopic Bilateral Regional Grouping and Agreement involving India and affecting India's interest. India has recently assumed the rotating presidency of 15th Nation United Nations Security Council for the month of December, and India is expected to host signature event on countering terrorism and reform multilateralism. India in 2021-2022 terms for the council end by December 2022. Key priorities की अगर बात करें इंडिया की, first would be the counter terrorism, that is again the foremost priority for India, reformed multilateralism, and India during its presidency will culminate the competitions for 2-year tenure as a non-permanent member of the 15 nation powerful body. UN Security Council की अगर बात करें, UN Security Council was established in the UN Charter 1945. It is one of the 6 principal organs of the United Nations. It is primarily responsible to work and maintain the international peace and security. And the council is headquartered in New York. तो कुछ और बेसिक्स के बारे में, it's one of the 6 organ जो मैंने आपको बताई रिविजन के लिए। परमानेंट हेडक्वार्टर न्यूयॉर्क में है, लोकेशंस जो है दैट इज इन लंदन। फर्स्ट सेशन हुई थी 1946 में, एंड प्राइमरी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी इज टू मेंटेन इंटरनल पीस एंड सिक्योरिटी। ना मेंबर ऑफ यूनाइटेड नेशन सिक्योरिटी काउंसिल्स की अगर बात करें, 15 मेंबर हैं टोटल, 5 परमानेंट मेंबर्स हैं, राइट, जो कि उसके बाद 10 नॉन परमानेंट मेंबर होंगे जो कि 2-year टर्म के लिए इलेक्ट होते हैं। 5 परमानेंट मेंबर्स इंक्लूड रशिया फेडरेशन, चाइना, यूनाइटेड किंगडम, और इंडिया ने यूएनसी में इंटर की थी एज अ नॉन परमानेंट मेंबर। आई टेल यू ऑल आर द मेंबर्स थ्रू अ इमेज। सो यहाँ पे आप इस इमेज में क्लैरिटी के साथ समझ सकते हैं कौन कौन सी मेंबर्स कंट्री हैं। दैट इंक्लूड 5 कंट्री, चाइना, फ्रांस, रशिया, यूनाइटेड किंगडम एंड यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स। सो दीज आर द 5 परमानेंट मेंबर ऑफ द यूएनएससी, और बाकी के जो मेंबर कंट्रीज हैं they are the non-permanent members. So these are the 10 countries with a non-permanent membership. Moving to the editorial of the day, safer road for greener, more sustainable environment. Something important for General Studies Paper 2 under the subtopic that is the government policies and intervention for the development of various sectors and issues arising from its design and implementations. So what are the issues and theme that I'll be discussing in this editorial? So the theme of this editorial is road safety and the sustainable environment. Some of the important issues of this editorial include background, the vehicles data, speeding limits, various initiatives, and conclusion. The impact of road safety goes a long way. उसके कई repercussions हैं, accidents हैं, और किस तरह से road safety एक नॉर्मल ह्यूमन लाइफ के लिए इंपॉर्टेंट है उसके बारे में बात की गई है। रोड सेफ्टी हैज अ पॉजिटिव इम्पैक्ट्स ऑन द एनवायरनमेंट एज वेल, हाउ एंड व्हाई, विल सी दैट एज वेल। In 2021, India has reported that 3,116 crashes, and each of which has adverse impact to the environment in various ways and its different degree. Apart from the loss of human life, जो environmental decrements हैं उसे भी हमें समझने की ज़रूरत है। कई बार जब व्हीकल एक्सीडेंट करते हैं, कई व्हीकल्स को वहीं पे छोड़ दिया जाता है, एंड दीज व्हीकल कंटेन टॉक्सिक्स, राइट? टॉक्सिक मेटल्स होते हैं इनमें, सच एज लीड, मर्क्यूरी, कैडमियम, hexavalent chromium, which are detrimental to the environment. And this fuel and fluid leaks seen at a crash site is also, which is impacting the environment and the land quality also, the soil quality actually. The vehicle data, India is estimated to have 22.5 million N2 vehicle by 2025, despite one of the largest car and light commercial market in the world. इंडियाज नेशनल ऑटोमोबाइल स्क्रैप पॉलिसी जो कि लॉन्च की गई 2021 में इज स्टिल इज द नाइसेंट स्टेज, अभी भी अपने इनिशियल स्टेज में है। नाइसेंट का मतलब इनिशियल स्टेज होता है, एक इनिशियल स्टेज में जिसे और ज़्यादा मैच्योर करने की ज़रूरत है। वी हैव टू लुक हाउ द थिंग्स विल वर्क एंड दिस हैज़ टू बी देयर इन द राइट डायरेक्शन, ताकि उसकी जो इन्वायरमेंटल नेगेटिव कॉन्सिक्वेंशियल है, डेट्रीमेंशियल है, वो उसे रोका जा सके। विद द एब्सेंस ऑफ वाइड स्प्रेड ऑफ द सिस्टमेटिक फैटलिटीज़, with the proper recycling vehicle after the crash, as well as the old and life use vehicles need to be taken into a right direction. We said this has led to the leakages of hazardous constituents like oil, coolants and gas oil. तो ये काफ़ी environment के लिए अच्छे नहीं है. These are again the problematic one. और अगर इसे land में की जाए and soils में की जाए तो soil की भी fertility और सारी चीज़ें impact करती है. Speeding limit, this is with regards to the safety, how we can ensure that there is individual safety. So road safety and environmental sustainability are closely rewind concept, दोनों एक दूसरे से जुड़े हुए हैं. One of the biggest factor of the road crashes is speeding. इंडिया में जितनी भी एक्सीडेंट हुई हैं, मैक्सिमम केसेस स्पीडिंग की वजह से हुई हैं. In 2020 alone, speeding was reported to be around 91,239 road crash and fatalities, which comprise 69.3% of all जितने भी टोटल डेथ्स रिपोर्ट किए गए हैं उसमें सबसे ज़्यादा स्पीडिंग की वजह से हुई। स्पीडिंग हैज कंसिस्टेंटली बीन रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर ओवर 60% ऑफ द टोटल crash that fatalities took place in India for the last 5 years. And consequently, several government globally has conducted speed limit to prevent the crash for the lower air pollutions. You can see the data here, 37 death per 100 crashes. And these are the number of incidents. You can see for the year 2016, 17, 18, 19, and 20. And the number of the deaths are also been reported here. And data has been taken from the National Crime Record Bureau. Speed hazardous की अगर बात करें, मैंने आपको reasons बताई सबसे ज़्यादा एक्सीडेंट की. So over speeding is the main reason. उसके अलावा हेलमेट ना होना एक बहुत बड़ी कारण है. No seat belt, again a problem for the car. Driving on the wrong side, drunken driving, and using mobile during the phone is also one of the significant factor. You can see the data here, right? कितने deaths किस तरह से report किए गए. Various initiatives जो कि लिए गए हैं कुछ NGOs और government के through भी, mostly NGOs are also participating. So all road safety initiative undertaken and recommended by Save Life Foundation are designed to be impactful and environmental friendly. तो ये कुछ important NGOs हैं जिन्होंने इस पे काम किया हुआ है. Now the foundations is Zero Fatality Corridor, जिसे ZFC के नाम से भी जाना जाता है. It's a program which deployed the Mumbai-Pune Expressway in 2016, helping bringing down the road crash fatalities by 52% as of 2020. Now similarly, intervention would also be introduced in 2018 in the old Mumbai-Pune highway, and the speed up reduced the road crash fatalities in their stretch by 61% of 2021. Now, initiative include guarding natural and hazard structures such as tree, using the crash barriers to prevent the directions, collision and installation retrospective, and even trees to make move for the visible commuters. The government of India too is now building green corridors to go over forest and animal path and oppose going through them. Scaling will be profound impact on preserving the environment while ensuring the better road connectivity. तो ये सारे फैक्टर्स को ध्यान में रखने की ज़रूरत है. Either basically highways are the part of the सेंट्रल लिस्ट में आती है, बट स्टेट गवर्नमेंट के अंदर जो जो रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है उसे भी मिलकर काम करने की जरूरत है. Now, conclusion of this editorial would be road and environmental are inseparable space. These are not just our shared resources, but also our joint responsibility. We as an individual also need to take the responsibility and ensure that we are not making the decrements to the environment. Therefore, the safer road and sustainable environment can be sustained through the joint efforts of road owning to agencies, enforcement officials, and the public. But the cognizance of the road safety while working on the environment stability and sustainability is the need of the hour. तो गवर्नमेंट के साथ साथ जो स्टेक होल्डर्स हैं, जो पब्लिक प्राइवेट पार्टनरशिप्स हैं, एंड इवन वी एज एन इंडिविजुअल नीड टू वर्क in the coordination with the government and work as a responsible citizen of this country. Now, moving to the MCQ questions of the day. Before I proceed, just to tell you the answers of yesterday's questions. For first question, the correct option is C. For second question, the correct option is C again. Today's MCQ for practice. आपको बताना है न्यू अम्ब्रेला एंटिटीज के बारे में. Only those entities that are owned and controlled by Indian citizen are the part of the annuity promoters. No foreign investment in allowed in the existing guidelines. So do check it out for the correct option. The second question of the day is with regards to electoral bond. The election is ongoing in India in the state of Gujarat, right? और हिमाचल प्रदेश में इलेक्शंस हो रहे हैं, तो उस कंटेक्स्ट में इलेक्ट्रल बॉन्ड पे क्वेश्चन इंपॉर्टेंट हो जाती है. ऑल नेशनलाइज्ड बैंक इन इंडिया आर ऑथराइज्ड टू इश्यूज एंड इन कैश दिस बॉन्ड विद द वैलिड ऑफ 15 days with the date of issuance, and these bonds are redeemable at the designated account of the registered political parties. So do check it out for the correct option. This type of question might be relevant for the upcoming prelims examination and many other government examination. This was all about for the daily news and editorial analysis, followed by the MCQ questions. If you have any other concern, do let me know. I'll be more than happy to assist you. For time being, I'm signing off. Thank you so much for watching this video.